good morning. My name is James Naughton. I am a mental health counselor by trade, and I am a employee assistance counselor with Life and Work Connections at the University of Arizona. I've been a part of the team at Life and Work Connections now for about 7 months, and it's been a great experience being a part of such a great community and a great team. And my focus prior to coming to the university has been in the mental health care area of primary psychiatric treatment and care at the hospital level, and working with individuals with trauma, addiction, and emotional and mental health issues, and families in particular. So my training has been helping people in learning how to regulate their emotions, to find themselves back into their body, to work with that nervous system that might be really attached to being very highly activated or just at the edge of overwhelm or shutdown, and trying to return that system back to a state of engagement or being in the present moment, which is where we're most powerful, we're most able to feel our feelings, not become them, and to be the most relational we can be with those that we love. When we address those parts of our brain in a compassionate and curious way, we can really be more present for others and the ones that we love, and to be present in whatever our work duties are during the day. So today we're going to be practicing meeting resistance. And what I mean by resistance today is really about whenever we encounter uncertainty. And that's something we are living with just chronically on a daily basis. Just, looking at the news, which I'm spending a lot less time doing these days for my own emotional and mental well-being, because there's just no certainty to be found. And that really sends my nervous system into an acute state of arousal or apprehension or nervousness or irritability. And that doesn't help me. I'm short with people I care about. I have a hard time concentrating, and I have to do something to bring myself back to the present moment. And fortunately for all of us, our body has a way of doing that. And if we pay attention to it and practice it, the easier it becomes. So we're going to deal with how the body deals with uncertainty, how to meet that in the body physically in the form of resistance, and using the body's way of working through that and releasing that. Now let's try changing the screen. Okay, so we're going to touch on a few points before we begin. Now, I want to let everybody know that our body is incredibly intuitive, flexible. This nervous system that we have that regulates our thoughts, our emotions, our energy level, we kind of refer to it as our own organic intelligence. It's been evolving over millions of years. It's really, a lot of it is at that base of the brain that regulates our breathing, our heart rate, certain hormones in our body. It helps us meet demands throughout the day. And it's important for that system to be flexible and not stuck in any mode, whether it's being hypervigilant or really shut down. We want to be present and flexible and flowing so that we can be more spontaneous and authentic in our responses. But this system is really amazing. And if we learn to listen, observe it, it really helps you be more present and capable. A lot of what makes events potentially traumatizing is how we perceive our ability and our capacity to handle it. And when we practice these exercises, not during the crisis, but just as a matter of self-care, whenever there's a crisis, we're going to have more of that resiliency on board, that spaciousness of range of handling stress that we didn't have before. And by embracing this uncertainty that we are encountering these days of not knowing all the story, not being able to see the future as of yet, we can address that on a physical level in our body and meet the resistance. And what I have is this quote. All right. This is me being human here, so just a moment. All right, here we go. So what would it be like to accept life at this moment as exactly as it is? And right now, we're all seeing me being perfectly imperfect, which is fine. What if we could see that moment right now as it was? Like, a lot of what Tara Brach is saying in this quote is that a lot of suffering comes from our own ideas of the way life should be, or as we see it, as we expect it to be versus as it actually is. And that discomfort of getting used to seeing things as they are sometimes is that resistance I'm talking about. All of the things we do to avoid uncomfortable feelings or choices or decisions. And what Tara Brach wants to say is we really are capable of seeing life as it is. We may not realize just how resilient we are, but we may have spent more time not engaging with being able to trust that our body can help us be in the now and see things maybe as they are versus how we would like them to be. And when we do that, we are more capable of dealing with change and uncertainty. When we're engaged with it, we're more flexible and pliable. But in general, our brain doesn't really like uncertainty. It likes to know what's happening next. What's the next thing? What's the next thing? And emotionally and mentally, it can feel like we're simultaneously experiencing opposing and contradictory feelings and beliefs. I want to hug my mom when I see her from 6 feet, but I can't. The physical distancing creates a lot of that ambivalence and uncertainty. But there is a voice inside of us that does want to move. It doesn't like being still. It doesn't like to be stuck in a certain place. But when we stay stuck, that's when that anxiety just kind of builds up in that system and we start to move into those more acute states of stress. So we don't have to stay physically stuck there and we don't have to try to reason it out with our thinking. Maybe we can just let our body move us through it. Let the body change the mind. We all can do this. And when we do this, we want to do this with an attitude of curiosity. And again, it's not about, I want my body to be a certain way and it has to be this way. It's more about like saying, when I feel anger, when I feel fear, where is that feeling in my body? What if I just meet where that feeling is? And instead of saying, you should stop feeling this way, how about just noticing it, not making demands of it, but what if I were to imagine holding that feeling in my body, noticing where that anger is or where that sadness is or that fear is. And what if I just hold it? Just like in that image you see with that bird being held, what if that bird represented the pain, the uncertainty? And what if we say that's the injured bird, or that's the injured, fragile part of ourselves that is hurting and not certain. And we're going to come meet that now and be loving and supportive, like our own parent to our own hurting self or fearful self. We're going to hold that gently and not judge it. And when we do that, the body engages with that part of our system that's feeling that pain, and it's able to give it space and room to dissipate or transform into something else. Otherwise, when we make demands on what we should be feeling or should be doing, we call that the shoulds. And one thing that Albert Ellis, who developed cognitive behavioral therapy, would say about thoughts that have should, ought, must, or always, he would call that, he would say, stop shoulding on ourselves and stop shoulding on others. So when we should on ourselves, we create shame. And when we should on other people, we create anger. So that image with the boxes, that's what should does. It's all about control. Things have to be this way. I shouldn't be angry. I shouldn't be sad. I shouldn't be this. No, it's okay to be those things. And maybe instead of having that attitude of what we should, maybe we just meet it as a compassionate, kind self that's just going to hold that sensation or experience in our body. Otherwise, it just puts things in boxes, and those boxes keep building up and building up inside. And we're going to blow up. Our anger is going to come out at someone we care about, or maybe some other behaviors are going to be out of control. We're going to be eating too much, or maybe, working too much, not sleeping enough. And all of this is building up because we're not really feeling and engaging with our body in a way that represents what's happening right now. And so that's what we do. That's what happens when we engage with our body, which is what we're going to do. Get out of this inflexibility and move into flexibility. So what I want everyone to do first is I want you to put your hand just on your heart right now, okay? And again, thinking of your heart like that bird that you see in the picture. You wouldn't want to upset it. You wouldn't want to hurt it. You would want to appreciate the beauty of that precious being. And our heart is precious. It's our life. In some cultures, it's the actual mind or spirit of the human. So we're holding our spirit maybe. And that spirit is like that bird. And let's just hold it, our heart there. Imagine just holding it as just this precious, precious part of who we are. And just imagine that heart being held in your hand, that mind, that spirit, that precious, pure potential of who you are that you're holding right now. And I just want you to breathe into it while you're holding it, and then releasing. Breathing in, holding it, releasing, breathing in, holding it, and then releasing. And again, continuing to support that heart. You know, support makes all the difference. Without support, things don't change, including emotions, including discomfort. So we're going to hold the resistance or the discomfort that's in our body. So I want you to bring up the discomfort by maybe connecting to a recent experience that you've had related to maybe our circumstances that's brought up some fear or some confusion or some anger or even sadness. And so let's bring that up right now. Maybe we're experiencing grief or loss that's unrelated to the pandemic, but it's the physical distancing that doesn't allow us to really honor the loss or change. So let's maybe connect to something like that and just be aware of whatever emotions come to visit you. You know, think of emotions, human emotions, like guests that are knocking on your door, and you're going to invite them into your room. And like a good host, you're going to invite them to sit down, and you're going to hold them with preciousness and wishing them well, but you're going to hold them and appreciate them. And I want you to notice that whatever the feeling is, I want you to ask yourself, where is this feeling in my body? You know, where is this sadness or anger? And how do I notice it too when I find it? So when I'm connecting to an experience now, my wife's uncle, who I'm very close to, he had to move to California, and he's been a dear friend of ours for a long time, and he had to move for health reasons. And when we said goodbye to him, we couldn't give him a hug. It was very hard. So when I bring that up, I feel this heaviness in my chest, like right here. It feels like something's sitting on my chest, and it's heavy. For others, it might be anger. Maybe that's warmth, or maybe your fists are clenching, or your jaw, maybe noticing that. And if it's your jaw, put your hands just right up to your jaw and just hold your head, almost like you're supporting it. Gently holding that feeling in the form of that physical strain in your jaw, and you're just holding it with compassion, like you're holding that bird, and you're just going to say it and notice that feeling. And like a compassionate person holding someone or holding some being that's hurting, you're going to hold that part of you with that same level of appreciation. And I'm doing that too here. And I just want you to go from noticing the support in your hands and feeling that support and that warmth. And then I want you to go into your body and notice where that pain is, or that physical sensation. Maybe you accompany with emotion, and I just hold it. Maybe even say to it, I see you, I hear you. And I'm not going to ask anything of you. I'm just going to notice you and be aware of this feeling and not ask anything of it except just to be what it is. Let's just send that thought while we're holding it and go between noticing your hand and the support and the discomfort. And let's do that for about 25 seconds, just going from noticing our hand, the support, to noticing the discomfort in the body. Let's do that 2 or 3 times now. Nice and gentle. And then when you come back to your hands, way to open up your eyes, and then again, just maybe lightly run your hands down your arms just to help orient you back to your surroundings and letting yourself look around and identify different things in what you see in the room, the different colors, or maybe different sounds or fragrances, and just picking out the ones that you like. And you're just kind of letting yourself reconnect while maybe you're doing this havening movement down your arms. And so while we're doing this, I want to first then say thank you all for being here today. These exercises are just another way of reminding ourselves that we're not alone, that our partner is actually our body that we inhabit. And when we relate to it, we're tapping into a very powerful resource. And when we know that and trust it, we find that we're going to discover more resiliency and more things that we can do that we may not have thought we could, because we are powerful, and the more present we are, the more powerful and trustworthy of ourselves we can be. Everyone take care, have a great day, and please look to our website for additional information on all our offerings. Have a really good day.